Oh, there comes the house.
Oh my gosh, y'all look.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Have you ever imagined a peaceful little river turning into a raging torrent in just a few minutes? A cozy house being swept away by raging water? A peaceful summer afternoon in the mountains of New Mexico, after just a few rains, turned into a terrible disaster that took the lives of innocent children. What is really happening in Ruidoso? And how did a flood explode so quickly? In today's video, we will take a deep dive into that haunting story. The story of the unprecedented flash flood in the history of the state of New Mexico. The full page of the tragedy, afternoon of the 8th of July, 2025. The 8th of July, 2025. A normal day turned into a nightmare for the residents of Ruidoso, New Mexico. Raindrops fell on forests that had been burned by wildfires. And then, in less than an hour, 3.5 inches of rain fell on an already fragile area. The Rio Ruidoso River surged uncontrollably, reaching an all-time high of 20.24 feet, more than 6.1 meters, in just 30 minutes. A giant wall of water crashed into homes, roads, and people's daily lives. In that moment, screams, rushing water, and crashing sounds rang out, signaling that the disaster had truly begun. Irregular losses. Among the unfortunate victims swept away that day were a 4-year-old girl, a 7-year-old boy, and a grown man. They were swept away by the floodwaters in an area that had just been burned by a wildfire. No one could have imagined that. The area that had just escaped the fire would quickly be submerged. Ruidoso Mayor Lynn Crawford choked up at a press conference the next morning, saying the victims' identities would be kept secret out of respect for their families. The entire village of Ruidoso extends our deepest condolences to the grieving families during this unimaginable time, he said. Stories of the disaster. A video provided by the USGS showed the river rising nearly 20 feet in just half an hour. A security camera in a Ruidoso family's kitchen captured the moment the floodwaters rushed in like a beast, destroying everything. Another video even showed a house being swept away by the floodwaters, smashing into large trees and disintegrating like a toy in the face of nature. This is no longer just a movie image. It is the truth, the painful reality. Causes forest fire, heavy rain, and impenetrable soil. After the tears, the question arises: why? The answer is not simple. The flood was the result of a combination of heavy monsoon rains, and especially the phenomenon of impermeable soil after a forest fire. When plants, debris, and trees are burned at high intensity, they create a waterproof layer just below the surface of the soil. When heavy rain falls, the water cannot penetrate and flows straight down the hillside, pouring into the river. The layer of ash after burning, combined with sudden heavy rain, is a recipe for a terrible flood. Rescue efforts. A race against time. A flash flood warning was issued at 2:20 p.m., but just 27 minutes later, an official state of emergency was declared. While outdoor sirens were not activated, as there was no town-wide evacuation, dozens of rescue workers rushed into the floodwaters, making more than 65 rescues from the rushing water. 3 people were taken to hospital and survived. Community centers were opened as shelters. Power was cut. Power lines were down. Water mains burst. And by the next morning, dozens of workers were still struggling to restore power and water. The fear is not over. Although the flooding has subsided, the fear is not over. The Fox Weather Center warns that scattered rains could return. With the ground no longer able to absorb water, any rain could trigger further flash flooding. The state of emergency remains in place. Residents are advised to stay away from affected areas, to stay away from exposed power lines, and report any new incidents promptly. A message after the tragedy. Perhaps the most heartbreaking thing about this tragedy is not only the material loss, but the loss of lives that are so young. Children who have not yet grown up, who have not yet understood the brutality of nature have become victims. From the South Fork fire, to the torrential rains, to the water that washed away all hope, nature is speaking, and we need to listen. No one can stop the rain, but we can be better prepared. Faster warnings, better warning systems, and above all, raising public awareness about climate change and its consequences. Thank you for listening to the end of the video. If you feel this story is important, please share it. Let more people know that, somewhere, on the other side of the world, there are people who have lost everything in a matter of minutes. We will continue to monitor the situation in New Mexico and update you in future videos. Don't forget to leave your thoughts in the comments. How did you feel after hearing about this tragedy? Thank you for joining us on our journey to report in the most humane and honest way. See you in the next video.